So what's your relationship like with your teammates? Are they good or could they be better? Because in this video, I'm going to be telling you why this area is incredibly important for your performances on the pitch and your life off of it. And additionally to that, what you need to do about it. So as a mental performance consultant to Premier League players, I've got something for you today that is incredibly simple to improve your game, but something that if you get it wrong can have a catastrophic impact on your game and actually even your life, which is why this video on team morale is incredibly important, not just for the success and performance side, but also for your mental health. Now stick around to the end as well, where I'm going to talk about something related to this that can have devastating consequences for your game and your life. But when you know what I'm going to tell you, you can not only make sure you avoid it in your own life and your own game, but you can also make sure that you are a brilliant teammate and you look out for it in other players. Now, the very best teams connect with each other. They're on the same wavelength. They instinctively know where each other is going to be. And this comes with not only developing an understanding on the pitch and on the training ground, but also developing a great relationship with your teammates off of it. And yes, you may have heard of players in successful teams that didn't get on. I can actually remember that rift between Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham. Now, when they played together, they simply didn't like each other, but they were still part of a very successful Man United team. But I'm going to tell you that these situations are exceptions. They are not good for team morale. Ultimately, toxic relationships like these can lead to a downfall of the whole team. Now, when it comes to performing to your absolute best on the football pitch, if you've been following this channel, you will know that the most important thing to playing to your absolute best is your brain. If you get things wrong up here, your game is going to suffer, no matter how athletic you are, no matter how brilliant your ability is. But if you get it right up here, you're going to be absolutely flying. And if you're not subscribed already, make sure you do that right now so you don't miss out on videos that are going to absolutely level up your game. So when it comes to interactions with your teammates, with your friends, with family, this is one of the most important things that we do as footballers and actually as human beings in general. When it comes to having great interactions, it is going to lead to more confidence, more happiness, and better performances. Now, the reason this is because as human beings, we are social beings. It's an inbuilt reward system that we have within our bodies and our brains. Now, do you remember the last time you had a great conversation with a teammate, or you had some fun, some positive banter? Do you remember how it made you feel? Or maybe this productive interaction was with your manager, a coach, a friend, maybe a family member. What happens within you? You feel good, don't you? Well, that good feeling, that feel-good feeling within you is your brain producing chemicals such as serotonin and oxytocin. And these chemicals not only make you feel good, but they're essential for all of us to be mentally healthy. And on top of this, these chemicals increase your confidence levels. And we know that confidence is fantastic for improving our game. They make you feel more resilient to stress. They make you deal better with pain. They also make you promote activity within your brain that enables you to play to your absolute best, and specifically helping you to get into what I call the blue performance state, the state where everything just flows on a football pitch. So actually going for that coffee with a teammate after training does more than just pass a bit of time. It's assisting that brain of yours to become more mentally healthy, more resilient, more confident, and ultimately become a better player. Now, I have talked in the past about the benefits and the negatives of caffeine when I spoke about Jamie Vardy and his pre-match diet. And I'm going to link to this in the description. But obviously, this is not what we're talking about here. It isn't specifically the caffeine. It doesn't matter where you meet up. It's all about the interaction. But keep this interaction constructive, keep it positive, happy, upbeat, because what I'm about to tell you now has the potential to not just undo this great work, but also to reverse it. It actually produces chemicals that can destroy your performances and your mental health. Now, we all have that tendency within us to start talking about something that is going terrible. And if you're experiencing any form of depression, I absolutely encourage you to talk about it. But this is not what we're talking about here. What I'm talking about here is when you sit down and you start discussing how bad training was, or how you dislike a teammate, or just generally moaning about everything and anything in life. Now, if you want to get the greatest production of those feel-good chemicals to get the most out of these interactions and not just make you feel good, but also condition your brain to be the best footballing brain that you can possibly have, keep those conversations positive and upbeat. If there are issues, problems, focus on the solutions and how you move forward. And this is absolutely key. Do not underestimate how powerful this can be for a team. And obviously not just the team, but you as an individual player. But as I explained at the beginning of the video, there is one more potentially devastating hole that I never want you falling into when it comes to interactions. As I said, I want you to be looking out for your teammates. And I've just told you about the brilliance of positive and uplifting interactions, how we want to stay clear of negative interactions. But much, much worse than interactions that are negative are the interactions that do not happen at all. If we go days without interacting with people, we're cutting off supply of these feel-good chemicals. Now, if you find that you go home from training or school even, you spend time in your room not speaking with people, this is something that I really want you to get out of. You obviously don't need to spend every waking hour in conversation or around people. It's nice to have your own space, but you have to make sure that you're not cut off from people. Quite often, this can become a loop that becomes progressively worse. You aren't spending time with people, so you aren't producing those chemicals that make you feel happy, that are producing the chemicals that make you feel confident. And this one is key, because when you're not feeling confident, you might not want to spend time around people. Then this confidence that you're not getting, this happiness you're not getting, and this interaction you're not getting, this becomes more and more. So you're less likely to spend time with people if you're in this situation. So if you're in this situation, start taking steps to interact with people, no matter how much you don't feel like doing it. And when I say interaction, that can even be a phone call, FaceTime, talking to friends over a computer game even. Then start getting out to those face-to-face interactions. You might not feel like it, and this is because, as we just said, you've not got those happiness and confidence chemicals. They're not being produced. But as you start pushing yourself once again into these interactions, these chemicals will slowly but surely start being produced again, eventually going back to and beyond that confidence and that happiness that you had before. And this doesn't just go for yourself. If you have teammates or a school friend that you're seeing withdraw like this, share this video with them. Invite them to interact with you. And not only will you be helping them to improve their performances on a football pitch, but you'll also be responsible for improving their life as well. Now, interestingly, in the world of professional football, I've spoken with numerous players who've seen this issue. Sometimes players transfer or they're loaned to a new team. And certainly if they're single or simply away from home, every day what they're doing is they're training and then they're coming back to an empty house. They don't see anyone until the following day. Now, if you know of players in the team that do this, invite them for a coffee after training, interact with them, support them, and be the best teammate that you can be. So now that you know that these interactions have far-reaching benefits such as confidence in general life, better performances on the pitch, let me know in the comments if you're going to be leveling up your interactions to level up your game and indeed your life.